Hey everyone, Chris Mack coming at you with my favorite run from this time period. This is Green Lantern Corps issue 46, which is part of the Blackest Nights series that we are currently working through. And I love it because Peter J. Tomasi is the writer. And I don't know, whenever he writes a character, for the most part, he knows how to capture their personality, and it really adds to the story. The one thing, though, about this whole Blackest Nights that's killed me is, as we were introduced to the Red Lanterns earlier on, we were introduced to Dexter, and he's such an interesting character. His backstory is absolutely heart-wrenching if you guys remember reading about it. But I hate that a lot of these characters that you thought were cool, like Dexter or Aquilo, they're all just kind of pushed to the background because of this event. And that's the one thing about event books that I hate, is how they have to jam so much information, and so we miss out on certain aspects that we'd rather want to see. But nonetheless, a great book, and as you can see, the Green Lanterns, the Red Lanterns, the Sapphires, the Sinestro Crow, the whatever you want to call them, Corps, are really overrun. So this is Black Dawn, Peter J. Tomasi story and words, Patrick Gleason penciler, Rebecca Buckman, Keith I think that's Champagne? Sure. And Tom Nugent inks, Randy Meyer with Gabe Eltab doing the colors, and Steve Wan letterer. Now I love that. One thing about Green Lantern Corps is I love how up in front of the series, it's Kyle Rayner and Guy Gardner are really the focus of this series. And because they're such great partners, it just works out in this series. And of course, John Stewart's back with the Corps, having brought the what do you call it? Both the planet and the citizens of Xanxes to planet Earth. And Monk tells everyone that they need to work together because there's billions upon billions of the Black Lanterns that are invading this Earth, plus an entire dead planet. And I kind of wish that Kilowog got more spotlight in this book, but that's just me because he's one of my favorite characters. Now, real quick, this barbed wire that all the Corps put together, where is it? Hold on a second, let me find it. There's so much going on that sometimes you kind of miss where the dialogue is at. So Guy Gardner, he goes, okay, since they're holding hands and all singing Kumbaya, it's time to take a serious dent in the amount of these Black Lanterns. I say we go Tholian Webb on their asses. And John's just like, Tholian Webb? Yeah, Star Trek, the original series, season 3, episode 64. I had to look that up because I remembered it once I looked it back up, but just the way that they kind of use an old sci-fi tactic to do their best to take out the Black Lanterns with everyone's emotional spectrum, it is an excellent little scene in the book. But alas, it doesn't last for long, as people from the past start to show up. Now this one, spoiler alert, I thought in the beginning of Blackest Nights, Guy said that he had took time after the whole Heroes Day to go visit Ice. So if y'all can clue me in, because I have no clue, where in between that issue and this issue did Ice die? Because all of a sudden, she's a Black Lantern, and she really starts to get into Guy's head. Now, spoiler alerts, if you don't want to be spoiled, go pause this video, go to your local comic shop, read this series, and you're back here. We've gone over this comic, so I'll try to make sure I remember to throw a card up where you guys can check out the review. But I think it calls back to volume 3 of Green Lantern. I think it's issue 57. Don't quote me on that. But Kyle says, is this all you have, Necron? Is this all you have left to play with? These dead cards you keep shoving in our faces. And then, like, if on cue, we see a refrigerator. And for those of you that have been longtime Green Lantern fans, you know what's coming up. Come inside, Kyle. Alex, we've got so much to talk about. So the first girlfriend that Kyle had and revealed his secret identity to was Alex. I can't remember her last name off the top of my head. But there's a character, Major Force, I believe was his name, was hunting the Green Lantern and knew she had an attachment to Kyle in that regard. And in the comic of issue 57, kills her, snaps her up like all her bones, and shoves her in the refrigerator. So that's what the significance of this is. And even though Kyle had dealt with that with his past love, and him and I can't remember her name off the top of my head because I'm drawing a blank, were able to destroy her, this is him by himself. And this is Guy's first encounter with someone that is close to him, and it's tearing her apart. But he finally comes to his senses and he goes, the only one going to pieces today is whatever bogus piece of garbage you're pretending to be. And so I'm glad that everyone's finally starting to see through the facade of what Necron's trying to do, even though Kyle's having a hard time, as this Black Lantern makes him watch firsthand what happened to Alex when she says, when he crushed my bones and decided to have a little surprise waiting for you when you got hungry. But thankfully, he's able to pull himself away, and we come to find the real threat of this issue, which is the Anti-Monitor. And the Black Ring is trying to eat him alive, even though he is partially dead. The Black Lanterns are trying to possess him. And in this issue, this is where, if you remember me talking about Hawk and Dove, you come to find a very important thing that she decides to do in joining the Green Lanterns to try to stop the Anti-Monitor. It's a great issue, and in true Tomasi fashion, great emotional moments and some awesome action and great artwork from the art team. I don't want to spoil the rest of this book. I want you guys to first and foremost go support your local comic shop and grab this series. It's definitely worth having in your collection if you're a Green Lantern fan. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little core bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.